The crystalline towers of the Dragon Throne world pierced the violet sky like frozen lightning. Empress Elsa stood at the highest balcony, her scales shimmering between obsidian and deep crimson as the twin suns set. 20 cycles had passed since the War of the Shattered Moons, 20 cycles since she had watched her daughter's fighter craft explode in the asteroid fields of Kelvor 9. The Empire had won that war, but victory tasted like ash in her mouth. "Your Radiance," her Chancellor announced from behind, his voice trembling with something between fear and excitement. "There is a visitor, a human. He claims to bring news." Elsa's claws scraped against the balcony railing. Humans. She had grown to respect them during the war. Their fragility made warriors of them in ways her nearly immortal kind could never understand. They fought as if every moment might be their last, because for them, it could be. "Send him in," she said, her voice carrying the harmonic resonance that made lesser beings kneel involuntarily. The human who entered her throne room wore the faded uniform of the Terran Alliance Navy, medals clustered on his chest like dying stars. His face was weathered, marked by scars that spoke of survival against impossible odds. But it was his eyes that caught her attention, eyes that had seen too much and yet still held something like hope. "Empress," he said, bowing with military precision. "My name is Elvish Reardon, captain of the destroyed vessel Prometheus. I served in the Battle of Kelvor 9. Her hearts, all three of them, constricted. "That battle claimed many lives, including my daughter, Princess Sarah." "No, Your Radiance," Elvish said, and his voice was steady despite the magnitude of what he was about to say. "It didn't." The temperature in the throne room dropped 10 degrees as frost crept across the marble floor. Elsa's wings unfurled slightly, a sign of agitation that sent her guards reaching for their plasma lances. "Explain yourself, human. Carefully." Elvish reached into his jacket slowly, producing a small, hollow projector. He activated it, and a three-dimensional image materialized between them. It showed a young woman, half human, half dragon, her scales the color of starlight, her eyes burning with the same fierce intelligence as her mother's. "After the Prometheus went down, I was captured by the Vicari," Elvish began, "taken to one of their slave colonies on the moon of Thresh. That's where I found her. She'd been picked up by a Vicari salvage ship, half dead, her emergency beacon destroyed. They didn't know who she was, just another hybrid to work the mines." Elsa's breath came in short bursts. The image rotated, showing scars and the unmistakable royal marking on the girl's shoulder, a constellation of bioluminescent scales that every member of the imperial bloodline bore. "For 5 years, I worked beside her," Elvish continued. "We didn't know each other's identities at first, just two prisoners trying to survive. She called herself Ash, said she couldn't remember her life before. The trauma, the injuries, they'd stolen her memories. Why didn't you contact me the moment you knew?" Elsa's voice could have cut through starship armor. "Because the Vicari had information extractors monitoring all communications. One wrong word, and they would have realized what they had. They would have used her against you, against the entire Empire." Elvish's jaw tightened. "We had to escape first. It took 3 years to plan, another year to execute. We've been running ever since, trying to reach your territory without being intercepted." "Where is she?" Elsa demanded, descending from her throne with fluid grace despite her massive size. "Where is my daughter?" "In orbit, aboard my ship." Elvish met her gaze without flinching. "She remembers now, Your Radiance. Everything came back during our escape. Who she was, who you are. But she's different. The war changed her. Slavery changed her. She's not the princess who flew off to battle anymore." Elsa was already moving, her wings spreading to their full magnificent span. "Take me to her," Now! The shuttle ride to Elvish's battered freighter took mere minutes, though to Elsa it felt like another 20 cycles. When the airlock cycled open, she saw her first, standing in the cargo bay, wearing a patched flight suit, her hybrid features both familiar and changed. "Mother," Sarah said, and her voice cracked on the word. They collided in the center of the bay, Elsa's massive form wrapping around her daughter with desperate gentleness. Sarah buried her face against her mother's scaled chest, and for the first time in 2 decades, Elsa allowed herself to weep, tears that evaporated into steam as they fell. "I thought you were dead," Elsa whispered. "I mourned you. I burned entire fleets in your memory." "I know," Sarah said. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I couldn't get back sooner." Elvish watched from the airlock entrance, preparing to slip away and give them privacy, but Elsa's voice stopped him. "Captain Reardon," he turned, standing at attention. "You protected my daughter when I could not. You brought her home when hope was lost." Elsa's eyes glowed with inner fire. "Name your reward. Anything within the Empire's power is yours." Elvish was quiet for a moment, then he smiled, a tired, genuine smile. "Permission to serve in your fleet, Your Radiance. I've had enough of running. Time to fight for something worth protecting again." Sarah looked up at her mother, then back at Elvish, and something unspoken passed between them, the bond of those who had survived the unsurvivable together. "Granted," Elsa said. "And Captain, thank you. For everything." As the 3 of them stood there, Empress, Princess, and human veteran, the stars outside the viewport seemed to shine a little brighter. The war had taken so much, but it had also taught them that sometimes, against all odds, what was lost could be found again. And that was worth fighting for.